Could you tell me why this Mondrian is important?
The Mondrian you see here is an early picture by the artist. One can date it to 1908.
Yeah.
It's the third in a series of pictures. It's called Haystacks, as you can see from the image. It's painted in Zeeland.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Zeeland in the Netherlands, not the one in New Zealand. In 1908, immediately the following year, the picture went into a fairly important exhibition that Mondrian participated in. Two other artists participated with him, and this picture was exhibited as a sort of triptych, as the third one of that triptych. With early 20th century art, as we all know, the breaking down of images and transforming images is extremely important, especially then when we see where these people end up, especially Mondrian, when he breaks down everything and basically ends up
it's
with
very
a few lines.
geometrical,
Yes,
right?
It is already.
But you think there's a link with Monet too?
I think that all the haystacks are influenced by Monet and people before Monet. I think that these artists looked at landscape, they saw something that was artificially made, was man-made, and looked almost like architecture, but wasn't the same colors. And that they interpreted these objects in their own way because of the light and the texture of haystacks, because you have all this light and all these colors that change all the time. Here, these haystacks are quite different from the two others in this series, which, by the way, are no longer known where they are. So we don't know where Haystacks 1 and Haystacks 2 are. But this one was rather celebrated. In 1944, when Mondrian died here in New York, they prepared a commemorative exhibition immediately in homage to Mondrian at the Museum of Modern Art, Alfred Barde. And this picture by then, in the 40s, had ended up with a Dutch family that undoubtedly acquired it earlier on in the century in British Columbia. The picture was traced to this family and it was exhibited in 1945 in this very important first great Mondrian retrospective at the Museum of Modern Art. I think that probably shows a little bit where this picture stands in its development. If you see it between the very early sort of the Hague School Impressionist paintings and the paintings with the trees, where he really breaks down the subject matter into lines. You see that a little bit here, because if you look at the third haystack and you isolate the third haystack, there's form there. There's absolutely nothing you can recognize in it. So even in this picture, you go from a haystack that's fairly recognizable to one that becomes a sort of a cube, to a haystack that's basically just 6 dabs of color, vertical color, and 2 or 3 horizontal.
But it makes me think about Philippe Guston, in fact.
Yeah, in a way it does. If you look at the sky, who does that remind you of? Long silence on the end of the French journalist.
Van Gogh?
How about Munch? Doesn't that look a little bit like a Munch sky to you? It's so fluent and there's this blonde color. It isn't really, but I mean, we're talking about a moment when he was really changing. So it's a picture, I think, that really is on the verge.
Merci, monsieur.